Greetings. Back with another one. Uh, with this one, I like to pay homage to the muscle man of kung fu films, and of course you can see I'm talking about Yeung, better known to us all as Bolo Yeung. Now, I think Bolo, he's probably he got to be in his 70s. He's up there in age now, and I believe his last film was back in about 17, not that long ago. So I mean, he's still working. But I can remember the first time I saw Bolo Yeung, man. He was. It had to be Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee. It had to be Enter the Dragon, either Enter the Dragon or the other one of the Bruce exploitation films. Wong, I forget that guy's name, but he was so good. I forget his name, but he has a legacy in his own right. But yeah, Bolo, he was mostly known as like the villain in these classic martial arts films. And now Bolo, he's from I mean, he had Bolo. He played some roles, but he was like the leading guy too and stuff like that. But Bolo, he comes from the Guangdong province in mainland China, and Guangdong, that's all the way down there in the south, so it's right there with Hong Kong. Now he came up, you know, around a time where I don't like I said, it was just a tough time that was going on in the mainland. And I believe he and his family relocated down to Hong Kong because in those days, mainland China was just going through a lot, with the famine and everything like that. So I believe he and his family they went to Hong Kong, and that's when he got into like bodybuilding. And he won a lot of competitions. It was like over a decade where he was like, the bodybuilding champion and stuff like that. And he's been studying like Tai Chi and Wing Chun since he was like really really young. So those were like his base. And when you see it throughout his films and stuff, that you can really see the Tai Chi movements, and you can see like the Wing Chun and the Kung Fu and stuff like that. And let me just, like I said, I'm gonna have to mute this because I don't know if this is like copyright music but stuff like that. But yeah, I just cannot think of anybody else, and any of the Hong Kong, actors back in the day, martial arts actors and stuff like that. I can't think of anybody else who had such a presence like him, but just with his physique alone. Yeah, Bruce was one of them, but Bruce was like on the lean side. Like Bolo was just sheer bulk, you know what I'm saying? And he was just a force to be reckoned with. Like he just looked so intimidating to watch. Today you see the kung fu and stuff like that. It was just like I said, there's some films, there's like countless films that I didn't see him in, but I've seen a great deal of it, but of course I didn't see all of them. But I've always just loved watching him and stuff like that because it was just to see a big man, like that moving like, and I always like how he did he did the movements like the techniques where he wasn't looking and stuff like that. It's pretty cool to see. I remember that movie. That's the Tiger Club films that he did, and of course Bloodsport. Oh, let's see, look at that watch. I watched it. Nice technique. He got his leg up there, stuff like that. But yeah, man, I've just always loved Bolo, man. He's just like I said, he was just so different, just being like bulky because most of the Chinese actors, most of those guys were very lean and stuff like that. But Bolo was like, the hell with it. I'm just gonna show up on set and I'm just gonna be bigger than everybody else and stuff like that. And just, I mean, you can tell that he was well trained and stuff like that. I mean, coming up in the Guangdong province and stuff like that. Of course, Kung Fu is very known, in China and stuff like that. So in Hong Kong, competing in well, I not Bolo, but just a lot of those people had their own like gangs and stuff like that. Gong Sao gang and Choli Foot gang and Wen Chong gang, and all these people would compete. There's no doubt in my mind Bolo probably got into a little bit of that. But like I said, bodybuilding was like his big thing when he first moved to Hong Kong, and he got into that. And he always had martial arts in his back pocket. And you could see him there with Cynthia Rothrock right there. That was the Tiger Claw films as well. Just a little reel of all of his work throughout the years, man. It's just like I said, he's been doing it since 1970, and that's when was that him when Jim Kelly? Yeah, and they see there you go that Tai Chi that's Bolo's based, and then you see the sticky hands and all that stuff. And pretty cool. You do that way. Now his son is a big bodybuilder too, and he looks so much like him too. And his son, I guess you could say, probably a little bit more defined, a little bit more definition, and then his dad kind of had more bulk. Yeah, you see the use of the weaponry and stuff like that. It's just all of these classic kung fu films, man. Just that you see him with the chuckle and stuff like that. I forget which film that was, man. Because like I said, he was discovered by the Shaw brothers, and the Shaw brothers, especially in the 1970s, were looking for a lot of actors who had martial arts backgrounds. And Bolo, I guess he just fell in line with all of those actors, man, who had martial arts backgrounds and made a very, very successful career in being in these classic kung fu films that we all love, that were seen all around the world. But I would say the top two films that I mostly knew him from was Enter the Dragon and Bloodsport. Like I said, Bloodsport, he was the ultimate bad guy. Chong Li. I mean, how can you not remember him? But then he was also in a lot of Bruceploitation films, and also, like, as you can see, these period pieces. Now, a lot of the films where he was in these period pieces, I didn't really see too much of those. I really want to go back and see the films where he was doing the period pieces and stuff like that, because all of the actors in China, in Hong Kong, did a great deal of those films, and just to show the beauties of the Chinese culture and stuff like that with the period pieces and stuff like that. So I definitely want to get into those films that Bolo was doing. And there you go, stomping out Jackson. Oh yeah, man. Bolo. No. But yeah, I just wanted to, tip my hat and, give Bolo his roses while he's still with us. He's up there in age, but like I said, man, he's done it all, man. He's done it all, man. I mean, anybody who's a big fan of all of the big names that came out of China, in Hong Kong, the Jackie Chans, the Bruce Lees, the Donnie Yens and the Jet Lees and James Tien and Unicorn, all those guys, man. Samo and Angela Mao Ning, and Bolo was in there. He's definitely in there. All of those big name actors, especially in the 70s boom where the films really took off. And Bolo, he has a legacy in his own right. And like I said, anybody who's a fan of these films know who Bolo is. And like I said, because he looks so different than everybody else, just because of his mask. But yeah, man, I salute the Bolo. Thank you for your contribution to the art and to the art of film, man. And I just wanted to pay homage to Bolo, man. The great Bolo Yeung, man. 31 cents at it. Another one for the archives. Your brother Bleak signing out. Until next time, you guys. Take care.